Let's Talk Prevention Idaho. This podcast is a production led by the statewide nonprofit Community Coalitions of Idaho, or CCI. Here at CCI, it is our job to support the work of prevention across the state of Idaho. Through education, training, and providing valuable resources, we help make the work of prevention happen all across Idaho. This podcast will update listeners on what CCI is doing from week to week, as well as provide information for vital professionals in Idaho and across the country. All right, everybody, how's it going? So welcome to yet another edition of the Let's Talk Prevention Idaho podcast. We've missed a few weeks, so we're so happy that you guys are able to join us again. We're able to bring out another amazing resource to the community, another great event that happens every year. And it's kind of nice to see that we're getting back to some semblance of normal. Things haven't completely been 100% back to normal, but the vaccines are out and people are getting more comfortable. And I think we're all a little COVIDed out. So want to make sure that we're being safe, but we're excited for the changes. I know those of us in prevention that have spent the last year trying to figure out how to deliver our services and meet all of those items that we need to deliver on our grants, that we're super excited that it looks like we're going to have a completely kind of different year. Hopefully, things are looking up. So we're super excited to be able to bring back something that was canceled last year because due to COVID, just kicking off this time last year. And we also want to remind you that CCI does have our spring conference, in person and virtual, whatever is your flavor, coming up May 3rd and 4th in Idaho Falls. And if you want more information about that, head on over to communitycoalitionsофidaho.org, and we have, under the events tab, we have all the information you need to get signed up for our free spring conference in Idaho Falls, all about prevention training. And then day 2 would be strategic planning with John Baronic again. He's coming out to help us plan out some more of our the next year or so that we can continue to move forward. We've had a great year this year. All right, so I want to introduce Kendall Nagy. She is the Executive Director for the Meridian Anti Drug Coalition. How are you doing, Kendall?
I'm doing well. Thank you, David.
So Kendall's been on with us once or twice before, Kendall? At least once, right?
I think just once, yep.
I believe she talks about our legislative brochure that we did, right?
Correct.
And today we're talking about the National DEA Drug Takeback Day. And this is a day where you can come and dispose of any kind of prescription drugs that you have laying around in your house, and get those out of your house and safely disposed of. Kendall, what are the 2 ways that people used to dispose of drugs that we tell them not to prior to this big push to educate everybody? Can you let us know what those 2 ways were?
Sure. I don't think I'll get that one wrong. So the majority of folks will either just toss their medication straight into the trash, which will go into the landfill. And then the other way that was kind of a trend in safe disposal for a while was flushing them down the toilet. Did I get those right?
Got those right. And especially here in the Boise Meridian area, where Kendall's coalition is, they have some very advanced wastewater systems. And last year, the city of Boise found out that they could tell when we were going to have a spike in COVID cases by testing the wastewater. Sounds gross, but they do a lot with wastewater that I don't think we really realize. I remember being at the community service days or something down at the city hall in Meridian, and they actually were showing us how long it takes some of the flushable wipes and stuff, how long it takes for them to break down. They're really trying to educate people on what goes into our wastewater system. So they do a lot more with our wastewater than just send it to some place and let it wash out into whatever place it goes. Large body of water. It used to be, I think it's the ocean for California. I'm not quite sure where it goes here. But so first off, let's talk about what is MADC, the Meridian Anti Drug Coalition. What are you guys doing for your drug take back day this year? Because you guys always do, you always try to do something that's really cool and amazing. Last year you partnered with Republic Services and handed out sharps containers. What are you guys doing this year for the DEA Drug Take Back Day?
Yeah, great question. And we appreciate the opportunity to be back on the show, the podcast, and hopefully we can provide some helpful information. This event we really look forward to. We rely heavily on the DEA helping sponsor this event twice a year and provide some resources. And then it's such a great opportunity to get creative and partner with community partnerships. As David said, we partnered with Republic Services for the fall take back in 2020. That was a drive-through format, which is the same as how we're going to do the spring one here on April 24th. And really elaborating on some of the partnerships that you may already have as coalition leaders or prevention organizations, and then also discovering new ones. One of the new things that we did in the fall was partnering with, of course, DEA, was being able to take back vape cartridges or cigarettes, electronic cigarettes, vape devices. They must have the battery removed because the lithium batteries do pose a fire hazard. But that was a new addition to the Take Back event in the fall, and we will be doing that on the 24th as well. Just remember, you must remove those batteries and safely dispose of those at a household hazardous waste disposal site. Another addition to kind of a new resource feature that we had in the fall, which we're tweaking it a little bit for the April Take Back, but bringing it back, is our partnership with Central District Health and some of the harm reduction services that they offer. They have safe lock boxes for medications available free of charge while supplies last. And so that's a great resource. They also have overdose rescue kits that include naloxone and instructions on how to use that. So there are great resources out there that are in one way or another affiliated with prescription medications and can really easily tie into this safe disposal event. And so we love the ability to get creative, enhance those partnerships. This year, Blue Cross of Idaho will be hosting at their headquarters on Eagle and Pine in Meridian. And a couple of the fun things and twists that we're putting on this, we will have a live radio broadcast. And so that's fun. That gives us some kind of spontaneity in some of the radio ads and the PSAs that go out during the actual event to get people to swing by. And then Blue Cross of Idaho has put together a joint op-ed that we are going to be submitting between a representative from Blue Cross of Idaho and the chief here in the Meridian Police Department. And in addition to that, News Noon interview to talk about safe disposal of medications. That's a fun one because that gives us an opportunity to show some of the resources that we have. One of the things that we'll be giving out are these little timer caps at the upcoming event. It has a timer on it. So when you open it, the countdown timer starts over. So you can tell if somebody that wasn't supposed to be in your meds, if that bottle's been opened. So it's to help reduce the diversion or abuse of those medications. So again, lots of ways to get creative. Those are some of the things that have sparked out of this partnership with Blue Cross of Idaho. And then, yeah, it kind of depends on what resources are available in your community and the partnerships that you have, or perhaps you start a fresh one and reach out to somebody that you would like to partner with, but haven't yet.
Yeah, one of the things that I love about listening to what everybody else is doing is if you're not able to do it this time, this is, like you said, this is a biannual event. We do this twice a year, and we didn't do it in April last year because COVID was just ripping and roaring at this time, and we were all trying to wrap our brains around what it was and how long it was going to last and everything. But if you hear something that someone else is doing and you didn't get a chance to do it this year, work on building that resource out for the fall Take Back Day to add that into your quiver of resources that you can use out within your community. And they can go into the DA's website to get all of the information on any sites near them, right?
Yeah, so there are permanent drop-off locations located throughout the state. And if you go to the Idaho Office of Drug Policy's website, they have a locator tool on their website that can help you find the closest permanent drop-off location. They also have resources to support the sharing of that communication with different regional boards throughout the state. And then as far as the actual Takeback event day sponsored by the DEA, you can go to takebackday.dea.gov, and that will be a locator system that will help you find the closest Takeback event on April 24th, closest to you.
Cool. So the reason why we wanted to bring Kendall on, and Kendall, this stuff that the resources that you're going to have at this event, if people don't have any drugs laying around their house that they need to get rid of, can they still come by and grab some resources, learn some stuff?
Absolutely.
You don't have anything to give?
Yeah, we're going to have our resources put in a little resource packet or bag, and we'll be giving those out. It's a drive-through setup, like I said, so that we adhere to COVID precautions. And so if you don't mind waiting in line and don't have any prescriptions to drop off, you certainly can drive on through and we can give you one of our resource bags. Absolutely.
And we'll have, if you're listening to this on the podcast, we'll have pictures of the information about everything that they're going to have on both the Community Coalitions of Idaho social media, as well as the Meridian Anti Drug Coalition. They have a Facebook page, correct, Kendall?
Yes, that's correct. Meridian MADC.
Meridian MADC is how you find them. And we're just Community Coalitions of Idaho, one really, really long word, separated out with spaces. So we had we've been getting some constant questions, and I was wondering if I might be able to throw a couple at you, Kendall, and see if you can't answer some of these questions and help people out. Does that sound good?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll do the best that I can.
Okay. So do you guys collect both? Like, so when people bring their prescriptions, do you guys collect both pills and the pill bottles, or just the pills? How does that work?
We do. It's up to the person that's dropping them off. Some people just feel a little bit more comfortable just dropping off the medications, and they don't want to have any identifiable information on whatever package they drop them off in. I think that we think and recommend that it's safer not to handle the pills and take them out and be moving them from package to package. It's very encouraging for people to hear that the process that these medications go through, the box that they're dropped in when you come through the drive-through, that is sealed up by the officer that's working on duty at the event. And that goes straight in back to the PD and into our evidence vault until it's incinerated for destruction. And that doesn't happen here. So those are never opened back up. Nobody sifts through any of what's been dropped in the box at the Takeback. And so it is anonymous. If you feel better about it, some people will take a Sharpie and they'll mark out the information on the pill bottle. So really it's up to the community member that's participating in this event and safely disposing of their medications, whatever they're safest with. But that's a little bit of insight into the process where it's dropped off a lot of times straight from the car. The person, the driver, the passenger will drop it straight into the box, and then that's all that we ever see of it.
And you said something about, so you guys are doing vape cartridges, correct?
We are. It was first offered by DEA at the fall 2020 Takeback, and we promoted the event, including that, and we learned a lot as that was a new service to this event. We learned a lot from our partnership with Republic Services. We actually got to see some video of some of the fires that can be caused in the Republic Services garbage trucks from lithium batteries. So really understanding the importance of removing those batteries because they're such a fire hazard. So we will be offering that, and we will be making sure that the batteries are not in the device. And those, like I said earlier, can be disposed of at a household hazardous waste site that are held throughout the community. I know both in Meridian and Boise, so you can look those up on the website to find out when those days are. So another great resource to add to this event, but with those precautions regarding the battery.
Cool. And then someone came, I guess some people out there, especially with COVID, they've been, doctors have just been I don't want to make this sound horrible, but they feel like they've been getting more medication than they have been using. And they were asking about what do they do with liquids and like asthma inhalers of the little metal things that you
Yeah.
slip into your plastic. How are they supposed to dispose of those? And do they bring them to this kind of an event?
Yeah, they absolutely can. But let me decipher between the two of those. As far as liquids and pills, those you can bring, leave them in the original container. Like I said, they can be dropped right in for safe disposal. As far as the inhaler, I appreciated the heads up on that one before today's podcast, because I actually reached out to our contact at DEA to do a little research on that one. I hadn't gotten that specific of a question for the inhalers. And because they're pressurized, they can create a hazard as far as the incineration and the way that we get rid of those. And so we recommend that you throw those away or take them to the hazardous household waste disposal site and not to this event. So that was a great question. That was something new that I learned as well.
Well, we're all learning because when I was asked this question, I'm all, to be honest, I don't know. I should know, but I don't know. And I asked you, and you said, I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. So did a little work on that one and got an answer on that one.
So, what else can we? So people can leave it can leave their pills in the original containers. None of their information is going to get taken. If they're worried about it, they can cross it off with a Sharpie. If they are just not comfortable and they don't trust anyone else with their information, they can pour it into a separate bag and they can pour all the pills into one bag, right? They don't have to separate them out, correct?
They can. And the reason that we kind of recommend against that is for the safety issue. If with fentanyl and if there's tablets, when you get a lot of tablets in a combined bag, it creates a powder. And so that powder can be hazardous depending on what the medications are. And again, because it's anonymous and we don't know what those medications are, we have to be very cautious about the powders created from those pills. So we don't like to see a lot of handling of that or a lot of shuffling of that. So again, as a safety precaution, I'd recommend against it. But if that means that's going to deter you from bringing your medications down and safely disposing of them, then get them in the bag and bring them down, and we'll do the right thing and get those safely disposed of for you.
And that's one of the things we don't think of. No, we don't think of. We're mixing things that really weren't meant to be mixed, and what that might cause, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so that's really good to know because I didn't even think about that. This is a drive-through event. People should throw away their dispose of their asthma cartridges at the hazardous waste
Yep.
disposal, not at the event. People can come and grab a resource bag even if they don't have any drugs laying around, and they can bring liquids too, correct? Leave those in the bottle. Really, if you guys are worried, just scratch stuff out, just draw with a Sharpie, because I really couldn't imagine, especially liquids, that would be that could end up in a really weird chemistry experiment. You can make a volcano.
Yeah, it sure could. It gets messy.
Cool. And
so
why are we so worried? Why are we so worried about everyone's prescription drugs, by the way? In case someone is watching this asking, why are they so worried about my prescription drugs?
Sure, absolutely. So a lot of the prevention strategies that we implement as coalitions and prevention partners around the state and in our communities are data driven. And so speaking for the work that we do through the Meridian Anti Drug Coalition and here in the community, we look at some data that has come back on youth violations and citations and what percentage of that is prescription drug. And that would mean taking prescription drugs not prescribed to you or not as prescribed by your doctor. So that would be the definition of the abuse or misuse. And I don't have the exact number because there's lots of different sources and the number varies a little bit. So I don't have an exact number to give you off the top of my head, but we do see that. And that is how we know that it is a problem among youth. We also have a survey that we administer to those that participate and are willing during this Takeback event. And we see that with that data, that the majority of people do not keep their medications in a stored and locked secure location within their home. But those same people also know that prescription drug abuse is a problem not only among youth, but also adults in our community. So we have a disconnect there in what we know and what we're actually doing. And we can really do better with our intention there and put that into action. And those numbers are pretty high. It's more than 50%, knowing that there is a problem, but yet we're not safely locking and securing those while we're in the home, because we recognize not everybody can get rid of all their medications. They could be in current use, and being taken as prescribed by doctors. There's nothing wrong with that. That's needed. And we recognize that. But when you're done with that, or if you have extras or you didn't need it at all and you've recovered from a surgery, really getting those out of the home is key, because youth that do abuse, the majority of them will do it in a home, whether it's their own or a friend's home, and it's in people's homes that they know. And when they're not locked up, you can go use the restroom and look in the medicine cabinets, and you never know what you might find. So really, it's a very simple, easy step, especially with the permanent drop-off locations throughout the state. And then also these twice annual DEA sponsored events. It's a really simple way to integrate it into your spring cleaning and contribute to preventing drug abuse in our communities, and especially among youth.
Yeah, it's always good to get those drugs, especially when you're not quite sure, like, when was the last time I was prescribed this?
Yeah.
So it helps you not have something that's really not going to provide you the benefits it's supposed to, because it's out of date and might have lost its potency. And one thing that I was able to share with a family member was that when it comes to, it's not something that you pointed out, it wasn't just the misuse, but it was the improper use. So not taking as prescribed, because we've learned through sitting through webinars this year with Jermaine Galloway, the tall cop, that kids and people who are looking to get a high, they can take Imodium in improper doses and still, I personally wouldn't want to do that to my body, but they can still overtake too many doses on some things you wouldn't even think of, and they can use that to kind of create some form of that high feeling in their body. So we really want to make sure that we are. I love the date thing on that pill bottle, because that was really cool. And last time it was open, because most of the time, unless you're on the older side of life than me and you can't remember, did I take my allergy medicine today? That actually would work for me, to say I haven't opened this in over 24 hours, so no, I have not taken my allergy pill. So
yeah. And that brings up a good point too. It's not just prescription medications that are prescribed by your doctor. This is over the counter as well. So cough syrups, allergy meds, that kind of a thing. You can bring those down as well.
Cool. Well, so it's April 24th. And what are the hours of your guys's Takeback Day?
Yeah. So, and I just remembered one more resource too that we didn't squeeze in during our conversation today, is the sharps containers. So every year at these events, we come across people bringing in their sharps, and we all very much appreciate them wanting to do the right thing and safely dispose of those sharps. However, because of the way that those need to be handled, we do not accept them at the Takeback events. But included in the resource packet that we're going to give out is information on how you can get your own free sharps container through Republic Services. And they have those there for you to pick up. And then once you fill them, you can exchange it and return the filled one to Republic Services, and they'll give you another one. So that's another resource. So no inhalers, no sharps. And then if you bring your vapes or electronic cigarette devices down, make sure that those batteries are removed. And the household hazardous waste is a great resource for those other items that we will not be taking back. Now, as far as the event, it's April 24th, which is a Saturday, and we'll open up for the public to drive on through and drop off medications from 10 a.m. We'll have our live radio broadcast from 11 to 1, and then we wrap things up at 2 o'clock. We'll be shut down.
Cool. So if you are listening to this and you're in the Meridian area, or Boise, I think Drug Free Idaho has something going on in
there's quite a few other events. Pure Wellness is partnered up. There's lots of prevention folks partnering up for a variety of different events. It's very important to know, if you're an organization that's interested in putting one of these on, You need to plan far in advance, and you have to have law enforcement there. We get a lot of requests to hold these events in Meridian, and we only have a certain amount of capacity with our officers being able to go off of patrol and work these events. And so putting those requests into your local law enforcement early is key to having all the resources and meet the requirements that are put in place by DEA to hold these events. So, and if you miss Saturday's event, remember, right here at the Meridian Police Department and other locations, we have those permanent drop-off boxes so you can come through. I know for Meridian, our lobby is open from 8 to 5 right now, and you can come on in and just drop it. It looks like a mailbox drop, and it's green. It's in our lobby. You can drop your medications in there.
So if they're looking for permanent locations, they can go to ODP's website, correct?
Correct, yes. And then Takeback Day events on the 24th is the takebackday.dea.gov.
Cool. Well, we want to thank Kendall for stealing a few moments with us to share some of her knowledge with us. I always learn something when I talk to Kendall. I talk to Kendall pretty regularly, so I'm always learning. And we'll get everyone excited for joining someone else. If you don't have a Takeback Day that you have scheduled for this year, find someone who is doing one. And they're always looking for volunteers, right, Kendall? I mean, I can't imagine anybody that would turn away someone who wants to volunteer and learn what they're doing, right?
Yeah, that's another big part of this event for us, is the partners that come not only just to volunteer the day of the event. We work with students at ISU to help get flyers out to the Meridian area pharmacies to promote the event and get word out to the public. Like I said, the harm reduction has partnered with us to make sure that the overdose rescue kits are available, provide information on that. So just so much opportunity for partnership. We've even partnered with Cub Scouts before, the Boy Scout troops, to come out and help administer a quick 5-question survey to the people that are coming through. They do not handle the meds. We do it very safely. But there's a wide variety of opportunity for partnership.
So if you are looking to do your own event and you haven't done one before, find someone who is doing one and partner up. And if you're looking for any information on how you can put together your own Takeback Day or what that looks like for your organization you don't know, feel free to reach out to us at communitycoalitionsofidaho@gmail.com or find us on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, Community Coalitions of Idaho. Send us a message and we will we'll totally get you plugged in on how you can start your own campaign in your own community. We'll help you get plugged in with your police department, and we'll make sure that you have all the resources you need to be successful so that we can get to these drugs out of our homes, off of our streets, and disposed of properly so that they're not polluting our landfills and our wastewater systems. So I want to thank Kendall for joining us today. I want to thank all of you guys for listening. And like I said, you have all of our contact information if you want to reach out to us. If you would like to be a guest on the podcast, feel free to send us a message at communitycoalitionsofidaho.org. Send us a message through our contact page, and we will get back to you and set up the opportunity for you to be a guest on the show. All right, until next time, guys, have a good one.
Thank you.